happening? Okay, hello everyone. Today has been a frustrating day, but I don't need to start off my live talking about my frustrating day, but definitely wanted to be on here a little bit earlier, but it's okay. It's Friday night, 1 o'clock. On the dot in my drop top, cruising the streets. Just kidding. Okay, so I'm a little loopy right now today, just to FYI. But hopefully it'll be like endearing and not like crazy bitch. So, what was I gonna say? Yeah, this might not go great. We're gonna see this. I mean, hey, I have high hopes. Oh, let me do a little spell thing first before we get started. Because I think this was helpful last time for me. Okay. I have been doing just to kind of help me feel like more strength or whatever. And I made a cute little flower thing today. Like how cute is that? I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't actually, and I can't really tip it, so that's fine. But trust me, it's really pretty. And we'll ring a little bell. Let's hear some. Okay, I feel that. That was good. Interview wise. Oh, I'm gonna spray some protection spray too. Can never be too careful. Yeah, oopie. Alrighty. I started some incense earlier, but then just went out, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, let me see my little spell. I'll light my little candle. All right, so this is similar to what I said yesterday, but same vibes of that. So this is where, as you probably saw, this is the video 3 of my series of going over the unsealed documents. Currently, we just finished document 40 from the unsealed ones, and we only have like 200 and a million left. So that's cool. This is my little mantra. What was sealed is now revealed. I read with truth, my mind is sealed. No harm may enter, no shadow may stay. I open the file and clear the way. So mote it be. All right, sweet. Okay, got the juju here. Got my Mountain Dew and my little weed vape. All right, perfect. Ready. Fuck, it's not like hitting it, damn it. You know what? This is just the kind of fucking night that I'm having. Seriously, nothing is working out for me. But I don't need to talk about. Here on out, it's gonna be smooth sailing. Anyway, so I'm gonna take a my own deal. Okay. Oh, and also I'll just introduce myself really quickly. I am a captured crime. I am a former forensic psychologist, and I kind of, I guess I'm like low key, maybe trying to be like a whistleblower about how fucked up our justice system is, and like just from working in it a lot and becoming like so disgruntled by it and just really disheartened. And I went, anyways, we don't need to talk about that right now. But also I'm house sitting in my parents' place right now, and they have a lot of loud clocks. There's this grandfather clock, and also there's a cuckoo clock that you'll probably hear too. So FYI. But anyways, yeah. So what was last time? Um, but, yeah. Anyways, I guess it's not important. Just I may capture crime. I think I know what I'm talking about. I do know what I'm talking about, and people may or may not agree with me, but I do feel like I have a very like unique perspective that is not really seen out there, and it's always good to have alternative viewpoints and ideas. And I do feel like definitely within the YouTube, you know, whatever true crime field, that you don't find like a lot of dissenting viewpoints about things. Like, anyway, so not to be like I'm so different, but I don't know. I don't need to convince you of anything. If you're here, I'm so happy you're here. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. It's free, and then like the video if you like the video. Oh, cool. And I'll just jump right in onto um, number 41, the document. But one more thing I will say before I do this. Wait, what was I gonna say? I hope this isn't how it goes on. It's gonna go great, Sarah. You don't need to think like that. Oh my God, I'm trying not to say my real name. So just pretend you didn't hear me say that. Luckily there's only like 2 people that watch these videos, so it shouldn't be like a big deal. Hold on. Cool. Alrighty. So, oh, and yeah, the last thing I'm going to say is just kind of what I guess I'll just give like super brief overview of some of the things that have stood out to me in the first 40 documents. And there has been kind of a lot, to be honest, and there's definitely totally different than what they've been telling us this whole time. And everything's been sealed, and there's been so many gag orders, and like obviously the only information that's been leaked out there definitely comes from law enforcement or the state side. And it's all just opinion. It's like, oh yeah, and then he looks so weird in class. It's like, dude, that's not evidence. Like, you have to prove these things. And now that we're actually getting these documents and they're coming out, like they had no information on him. They have zero evidence, dude. It's crazy. So, anyways, that is probably the number one main thing that I found out in the first 40 documents. Also, the other thing that was like really heavy that I realized that I was like, maybe I should probably acknowledge this. I was thinking I was like maybe doing a little bit like, yeah, it's fine. I'm not gonna think about that. But um these are the first times that we're really reading any details about how the victims were found. And so like in the very, very beginning when like people didn't really know what they were doing and like different people were talking, there was like a coroner that came out, and but then she did like her little opinion on something. Hold on, I need to grab a Kleenex. I was just running. Oh gosh, I don't know if I have a Kleenex. What a bummer. No, I do remember. I do have some Kleenex. Uno momento. Okay. Sorry. Oh, God. All right, got that. Thank you for your patience. All right, so I'm trying not to like show everyone my hoo-ha. All right, so yeah, the thing that's been really depressing to read about has been the way that the autopsies were performed, and they are like there's way more detail, and there was like conflicting kind of reporting of like how the bodies were found, and they did not go, like they didn't even tell the families like whether or not like how they were found. Like I know Steve wanted to know, like Kaylee's dad wanted to know how many times she had been stabbed, and they didn't even know like necessarily how she died. You know what I mean? So that was another thing that really stood out, and also just like how flippin' gory that crime scene was. And the thing that also stood out to me about all of that is like it just to me still makes it's really difficult to think about how one person could have done that. And well, Xana was stabbed 54 times, and a bunch were defensive wounds. And I mean, it was a bloodbath. Like we saw the blood dripping out from the side on the outside of the house from Xana and Ethan's room. Like literally blood dripping down from the wall from the inside. It like leaked out. And all of them had over 30 stab wounds. And then the other thing that they said about Kaylee was like Maddie had like they said he had like she had kind of like a gash from her corner of her eye to like her nose or something. But then Kaylee's face, they said to me, I was like, well, this was not with a knife. Like they said her face was an unrecognizable or unidentifiable because her whole face had been smashed in, like she had no bone structure anymore. So she didn't. I mean, honestly, I can't even imagine what it would look like. I don't really necessarily want to, but that was the other thing too. I was like, wow, they have pictures of all that. Like, can you imagine being on that jury and have to see like those pictures? Like, I don't know. Like, it sounded like there was just like blood sprayed all over the walls and like areola, like veins just spurting out everywhere. Like, it sounds like Xana was just covered head to toe, pretty much in blood, dried blood. Ethan was like, his head was like back against the wall, and his body was on the bed, and it sounds like his neck was basically, I mean, almost like to me, it sounded like his like head was almost cut off, but behind, like on the wall, like from where his head was facing down or whatever, tons of just blood splatter all over there. So, just really brutal. Oh, and the other thing too that was a little bit different that I thought was significant, and this will be the last thing I say because I really want to just move forward into the new documents, and I will like go back and kind of recap some of the stuff, but I do just want to keep following through these because I want to know what else is out there. But the thing that really stood out to me is like again that like what they said in the PCA or like the like grand jury that no one got to see either. No one's seen anything. Like literally like the prosecution and the state just literally just bullshitted everything, and they have nothing to show of any of the bullshit that they said. So, but anyways, they you know, in the PCA that was written, they talked about Dylan and Bethany and like kind of how what was going on in the nighttime. And I think there was conflicting reports about like kind of what time people were getting back and who was where. And it does sound like they got reports from different people that were involved that like all the kids that showed up that first day and like or that first morning and they all took statements, but I don't know if they had enough time to like group together and like really come up with a solid statement if that's what they needed to do because it's definitely like over like there's a lot of different storytelling that are don't match up with the other person's story, you know. One thing that I thought was weird that had not been mentioned before that was significant to me was that, you know, Bethany was on the first floor and then Dylan was on the second floor. Ooh, the other thing too that I just want to mention real quick, and maybe if anyone has heard of this before, because this was just kind of came out of nowhere in my brain. I was like, wait, what? Because there was like, okay, there was like one of the reports that was explaining about it was like one of the detectives or the like deputies. So everyone had to write their own narrative. That's what these documents are, like of that day or of their shift or whatever, and document what they did, what they saw, what they took into evidence, who they like, you know, interviewed, blah 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 blah. So then they were like saying that Bethany she she reported apparently. No one knew that she was doing anything, but apparently now that we find out, she was like watching Vampire Diaries with like a bunch of people in the living room, like including Dylan. And then she said that Maddie and um, Kaylee came home around like 2, and then or she said around 2. Then they came home. They let out Murphy the dog, and then Bethany said she stood outside for a while with either I think she said with that's the thing that got confusing in this one report was it's like I'm not sure who was one, and to me it sounded like they one of the reports definitely kept mixing up Kaylee and Xana, and for some reason because it was like it was all written like it was confusing, and then at the very end like I'm like yo I think they switched up the names for Xana and Kaylee, and then like at the very bottom, they were like, well, and then we found out that actually it was Xana or something. I'm like, wait, so Dylan was telling you that Xana was upstairs the whole time? So did Dylan just have like a really big brain fart for like the entire time that she was telling the story or something? Like, and then I was thinking, Steve Gonzalez mentioned something too today or yesterday, I can't remember. But apparently there's like some rumor going around about a love triangle, and like Steve was like, very insulted and he's like you know you don't get a chance to like stick up for your children, you don't know what people are saying, and then since there's no information being given to like the public, people come up with their own theories or like word of mouth or there's like gossip, you know. And apparently there's some gossip that was going around that specifically mentioned a love triangle, and then I was thinking what if it was this is totally out there, so definitely this is 100% way off their theory, but what if Kaylee and Ethan were starting to hook up and there was a love triangle between Ethan and Kaylee and Ethan and Xana, and maybe that's why Dylan was so easily getting them mixed up. But you know what, to be honest, that doesn't make a lot of sense because everyone knew that Xana and Ethan were boyfriend and girlfriend. So I don't know what the love triangle would be then. Anyways, if anyone knows some gossip or some allegedly stuff, uh comment below or yeah in whatever. Okay, let's get to work. Okay, number 41. The other thing that's oh wait no I have to add shishing. The other thing that's annoying that I cannot fucking figure out for the life of me is how to get rid of this side thing that's like showing. I wanted to have the full screen, but I want to be able to highlight. So it's like, how do I do that but have a full screen? Like, you know what I mean? Because I feel like if I do this, well, now I'm not highlighting anymore. I mean, I am highlighting, but it's not like actually hiding. Anyways, first world problems, I guess. Okay, here we go. 11. Let me take one step. I'm sorry. I'm like 11/28/22. Lawrence Mowry wrote this narrative, document 41. Oh my god, I like love Cold Mountain Dew so much. It's crazy. Okay. On November, this is apparently blank phone warrant, a D phone warrant. I don't know who D would be, but maybe it's a big D that Brian's getting in prison, which just kidding, total fucking trash statement. Like, honestly, I like kind of pissed they didn't stop them from saying all that stuff, like order in the court, you know what I mean? Like, anyways, his mom was at like they were just fucking rude to him. But I guess they thought obviously he was pretty rude to the family members. But I'm like, dude, I am not convinced that he did it. Anyways, November 17, 2022, JD. Oh, you know who I bet that is? Jack Decor. I think is how you say his name, but that is Kaylee's ex. They share the dog Murphy, and he lives with a few guys. Can't remember all their names. I think one of them's for sure Adam, like within like a block's radius or like just across the way from 1122 King Road. They might be on Taylor or some shit. I don't know. Anyways, this is definitely Jack, I think, and that would make sense that the D stands for Decor, his phone records. So Jack D was interviewed by Sergeant Mike Van Leuven from the Idaho State Police at the ISPD District 1 office. I wonder if it's one, like if they spelled it ONE. I wonder if that's like really how they spell it, if they usually use the one. Anyways, it doesn't matter. At that time, he provided his phone to Sergeant Van Leuven, along with consent to search the phone. That phone is an iPhone XR with IMEI. No idea what that is. Blank transported to the Coeur d'Alene Police Department forensic lab at blah blah blah. What? Okay, that phone is an iPhone, blah 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 blah. Okay, so somehow I got transferred to Coeur d'Alene. I applied for and was granted a search warrant to access the contents of the iPhone. The phone was to be extracted by detective. Uh, the phone was to be extracted by Detective Dustin Taylor of Coeur d'Alene Police Department. There are so far I've heard like 60 names of law enforcement. Like, way to keep it succinct, guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like chain of command, go through 50 people. It's like, no, dude, keep it small. You know what I mean? Too many cooks in the kitchen. Um, but I guess these guys need all the help they need, which that does seem pretty apparent. It was to be distracted by Detective Dustin Taylor at the police department in Coeur d'Alene. Detective Mike Van Leuven had taken the phone to Dustin Taylor. Had taken the phone to Dustin. God damn it, you guys! I'm like seriously, like it's too late. But you know what? I'm doing great. So thanks for everyone's support right now. The energy of support that I'm doing. Maybe that's just okay. So Detective Mike Van Learn had taken the phone to Dustin Taylor at the Computer Forensic Lab at Coeur d'Alene Police Department. I emailed a copy of the warrant to him at 16:43 hours on November 17, 2022. On November 18, 2022, while confirming Detective Taylor received the warrant, I was informed the phone was no longer at Coeur d'Alene Police Department. Oh, surprise, surprise. I bet it fucking slipped into 30 other people's hands in between that. Idaho State Police Lieutenant Paul Berger picked up the phone from Taylor and delivered it to the Spokane County Sheriff's Office. Lovely. Okay, cool. I love that for you guys. Like, what the hell, dude? Like, it's going across state lines, even? What the hell? Where investigative analysis BJ, which I'm not gonna say something really immature, but I thought it. BJ received it. The data on the phone was forensically extracted at that location on November 19th, 2022. Idaho State Police Detective Richardson retrieved the phone from the forensic lab and delivered the phone to D, mother, per the attorney's wishes. Delores' mother, probably. Okay. On November 19th, no, ready for that? November 21st, 2022, Detective Anderson of the Idaho State Police provided Sergeant Van Leuven with a USB drive containing the extraction. Sergeant Van Leuven then provided the USB drive to me, and it was not me, but the writer, and it was placed into the secure forensic lab at Moscow Police Department. Okay, so it went to 4 different police departments or something, and then also someone's mom's house. Like, okay. Oh no, they returned it to his mom. I'm glad he has his mom. An examination will be completed at my earliest convenience. Well, how nice for you. Convenience sounds convenient. Since the warrant was not served, I did not complete a warrant return receipt as nothing was collected. Say, what? I thought it was, bitch. He just said it was. The phone was extracted. Then they took it somewhere else. They emailed some shit. No, they emailed a copy of the warrant. Then confirming Taylor received the warrant, informed the phone was no longer at the police department, and that Paul Berger had picked up the phone from Taylor and delivered it to the Spokane Sheriff's Office, where this BJ guy received it person, and then that data was forensically extracted. And then someone else comes in, the Richardson retrieves the phone from the forensic labs and then delivers it to Dee's mom per their attorney's wishes. So then they're like, Detective Anderson of the Idaho State Police provided Sergeant Landbuzin whatever USB drive containing the extraction. And Sergeant Van Leuven then provided the USB drive to me, and it was placed in the secure forensic lab at the Moscow Police Department examination. Yeah, whatever. So, but what he's talking about the warrant, he has this information, right? He doesn't need the warrant anymore. Like, I don't understand the sentence. If anyone kind of is being smarter than me tonight, like, shout out, because I'm like, shit, what? Okay. And that's it. Cool. And Sergeant Lawrence reviewed it on November 30th. Detective Lawrence or Maury. You know, that's kind of confusing. That's something else. Just random. And I know this isn't like obviously like them doing a bunch of crazy conspiracies all the time, but like there's so many overlapping names and like seems to be like a lot of like twin names, like twinning initials, a bunch of Jack S's, or like there's like 3 different Jacks or like 3 different J's, and then there's like 2 different Hunters, and um there was triplets. Anyways, here's Detective Lawrence Maury, and then it's reviewed by Sergeant J.W. Lawrence. So it's like now these 2 people, there's 2 Lawrences. It's just kind of random, you know? All right, moving on to, yeah, I said what it said. Okay, go back to that. What's going on here? Full page, bitches, but I want to get rid of this over here. Come on. Hello. Go away. Damn it, shit's difficult today. Whatever. See, this is never this hard. Like, come on, bitches. Like, what? No. Usually you can just, usually it shows like a page number and then you can just be like, yeah, no, I don't need these. Like, I don't need a thumbnail. Just want it straight up, people. Oh, wait, hold on. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Oh, this is not right. Come on. I'm sorry, you guys. This is like, I'm gonna get better as time goes on with being good at, like, you know, fucking technology, but not tonight. Not tonight. Plus, I feel like my computers are just being super laggy. So, like, if people are fucking with me out there, I know this sounds paranoid, but like, government people, if you're in on my like networks and stuff, like screw you. Now you're really holding me up over here. And I don't like it. So okay. But now what? Why is fucker? Just gonna stop sharing real quick. I don't understand what's going on. Why? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna end up being like a baby and like being like, I'm done because this is seriously pissed me off. Like, I want you guys to be able to fucking see. This is so stupid. I'm sorry. I'm being a negative Nancy. Here we go. Okay. Maybe that was the problem. Whatever. I'm sorry. You guys can't see this fucking. Oh, wait. Hold on. Maybe you're going like this. This. No. See, that's the thing, dude. It's like, my God. Like, why can't it do the flip the page thing again? This is so stupid. The other one was, oh, stop sharing, bitch. This was it. Just no, come on. Sorry, you guys. Like, I'm being super whiny, but I just don't understand what the problem is right now. Come the fuck on. Yeah, leave, bitch. Okay, I'm being like really bitchy to myself or something. Let's see if this happens. Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay, my bad, you guys. You went bigger. Okay, that's what she said. Alrighty, document 42. Again, we've got the Lawrence Maury. 11/28/22 at 13:49 hours. This is initial interviews. Ooh, this will be good. Oh, fuck you guys. I have not changed. Why is it hard? So hard. Perfect. Oh my God. I don't care. Sorry. If you guys need to read these documents, pull them up your damn self because you know what I mean? Jeez. God damn it. I can't even fucking read this. What is why? Why is it so hard? Like it was fine before. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. It's like being a baby and that's fine. So just forget this. Cool. Initial interviews, 11/15/22. Well, he wrote this dude wrote it. It was 11/15 and he wrote this on 11/28. That is like literally 2 weeks later. How does he remember? Hopefully he recorded it. That would make sense. I mean, that would not make sense if he didn't fucking record it, you know? Okay. Date of birth, they're born in 2003, which is kind of crazy, right? Like these people are born after 9/11. Like that's young AF. Looks like it is an interview with Dylan Mortensen, so I guess Dylan Mortensen is young as AF. We don't know what sign she is. We only know the year that she was born. Phone numbers, whatever, and her address is what? Yeah, so it's Dylan, 112 King Road. On 11/13/2022, DM Dylan Mortensen was interviewed in regard to the homicide investigation at 112 King Road. Dylan said she was the resident of the house where the incident occurred. Dylan said she was at a blank party. I bet it's like some frat at around 10:30 hours on 11/12 where she was drinking. Dylan said she went to blank house. Ooh, this is the one that I think they keep saying White House. No, I think they call it the White Apartments. So, anyways, blank house, some frat house, maybe. Dee said she believes she arrived home between 03:30 hours and 0100 hours on 11/13/2022. So, okay, so remember I was kind of talking about that in the beginning, where I was like, kind of confusing reports, little conflicting like reports by people, like one person telling two different stories and stuff, which happens when you're recording shit 2 weeks after it takes place. Um, but she, okay, yeah, but then it was like I feel like other people were like, yeah, someone reported that Dylan and Bethany Fong, the two alive roommates that were left alive, they were watching Vampire Diaries with like a bunch of other people in the living room. when Kaylee and Maddie came home, and that was like it sounded like they thought it was at like 2 o'clock, like 2 a.m. But but Dylan's saying she got back at 12:30 or 1, so I don't know why. I guess that doesn't have to actually be that confusing. Um, yeah, okay. Dylan said she thought Bethany arrived at home around 20 minutes after she arrived. So what? So they weren't watching Vampire Diaries? Did they start watching Vampire Diaries after they all got home? So it sounds like Dylan got home around 12:31. Then Bethany got back around what? Around 1. Okay, cool. Dylan said she believed Maddie and Kaylee arrived at home around 1:30 or 2 hours on 11/13/22. Oh, did she then? Okay, really? That's interesting because they were at the Grub Truck video for sure till basically 2 o'clock a.m., 2 a.m. And then also, I read somewhere, and I can't remember where I heard this, but I know it was like going around, all the rumors and stuff in case, um, that Kaylee and Maddie got home at like 3 o'clock or something, or like 2:30. Someone was reporting. I feel like it might have been Jack Showalter or something, or maybe their bride. I don't know. I'll try to remember to look out for that. Because I think these do not align with that. And then she says, "Oh my god, my back itches." All right, she said. Dylan said up to this, nothing weird had happened during the night. Dylan said she and her friend Elle question mark. Okay, I don't know who that is. Came home, maybe Loach or something. Oh, because I did actually go and look through some Reddit threads and then kind of do some Googling with some of those initials that were like just getting overwhelming yesterday, where I was like, there's like 20 initials that I don't know, who they are. So I think one of them was a Loach, but that could potentially be this L thing. Anyways, L came home, question mark, followed by Bethany from blank. That's what I'm assuming it is. It says followed by B from blank. Oh, wait, hold on. Kaylee arrived and Maddie arrived around 2. Dylan said up to this, nothing weird happened during the night. Dylan said she and her friend Elle came home, followed by Bethany from blank. Dylan said Elle lived at the blank house and Bethany was her roommate at the residence. So it's not Bethany. All right. I'm going to have to revisit that because I think I'm obviously wrong about that. Be like, what? My notes are so better yesterday. Dylan said when Maddie Morgan and Kaylee Gonzalez came home from the corner club at the same time, and everyone went to bed. Really? So what Bethany said yesterday was they were all chilling up in the living room watching Vampire Diaries. It sounded like everyone had been there for a while that was chilling there. And then I can't remember what people said about Dylan or Xana. I think they got home around that time. But then Kaylee and Maddie always came home after 2, right? So it's just weird that now she's like, yeah, everyone got home at the same time or whatever. Well, I don't really understand what she's saying, but everyone to bed at the same time. Okay, but then that's not true either because people didn't go to bed then. And also, but there was like one more important point. They no, I can't remember. Oh yeah, and Bethany reported yesterday in the report that I read in the narrative was that she oh my god, you guys, why do I keep losing my train of thought? This is hard. This is too late, maybe. All right, I'm gonna put my big girl panties on and I'm gonna do great at this because I know what the hell. Okay, I'm sorry. I am a little embarrassed about how loopy I am, but you know, I can only be me, me, me. Um, Okay. Oh, what Bethany said yesterday in the report that I read. Bethany didn't say this yesterday. She said it in the report that I read yesterday. And she said that she was watching Vampire Diaries. Then the two girls came home. They took Murphy out, and it was Bethany that said she went out with someone else to take out the dog, and that was like the mix up between the names that was going on in that report, where it was like Kaylee and Xana were being mixed up a lot, and then I just got confused because I was like, wait, so is this now Maddie? Like, yeah, it was just really confusing. But what Bethany said is she did go out with one of the roommates with Murphy, hung out outside like for a little while, and then she said she definitely came back in, before 2:30. And then she said she fell asleep or whatever, and she doesn't know what time it happened, but she said she was awoken by a firework explosion, or it sounded like it, and like a big flash. So to me, that sounds like a flashbang. But she said, which are pretty flippin' loud and like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what that word is. I want to say like abrasive, but you know what I mean? Something like that. Like, it's totally like flashbangs are like crazy kind of blah, blah. But I'm from Minneapolis, and like South Side. I like actually live like 10 blocks. I shouldn't tell you guys like where I live and stuff, but I live very close. Well, fuck, I already kind of said it. So they live 10 blocks from where the George Floyd was murdered, and like, our city like literally got like burnt down that day, which like as it should have, but it was a little bit scary because it was like, I mean, there was no, it was kind of cool, but also it was like, this feels scary. Anyways, they like we took over the like police precinct, burnt down like all these buildings, had like, no cops anywhere to be seen. Then they all like reconvene over like a day or two, but still kind of let shit hit the fan in Minneapolis, like let us defend for ourselves. Like shit the next morning was just like still smoldering, like things were like just it was crazy. It literally looked like a war zone out here. But what I'm trying to get to of this story is when the law enforcement and the state and the government, whatever, got their shit together by Friday night. So Thursday night, no, yeah, Thursday night, the city burned down. Friday night is when, and shit got started on, George Floyd was murdered on Monday, and the city burned down on Thursday. So there was shit going on in between that too. But then at the, um, fuck me. I did not just tell this whole story and completely fucking forget what I was gonna say, dude. It's like I need to not smoke. Maybe I need to smoke some more weed. That's the problem. But oh, the flashbangs. So what they did is they got these like, well, they got the whole National Guard, fucking from Minnesota, entire Minnesota State Police. Like they like definitely were like, all right, we're gonna like figure this out. They came in like loud and proud, strong, whatever. And Lake Street is the main street where everything burnt down, and it connects like Minneapolis to St. Paul. And there's a bridge, like the Mississippi River separates Minneapolis from St. Paul. And they had approached it. It was weird too because I was like super close to this happening. It was like really fucked up to hear it, but they started off with like just this huge. I'm gonna try to see if I have a video of that because I remember watching it on TV and it just looked weird. But they started on the St. Paul side of the bridge and walked towards Minneapolis, but it was just like this huge line, of like law enforcement and like police and whatever military people. And when they were moving forward and they were just going to try to keep, I don't know tactics, but they were like as they were going across the bridge, everyone had, like they had their little shields, but they were throwing off so many flashbangs, and they're scary. Like they're super loud, and they flash. It's like an explosion, and it's just really like jarring, and it's like loud. It's distracting. It's super bright. You're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Anyways, if that's what fucking Maddie woke, no, if that's what Bethany woke up to later in the night, and then she didn't know what was going on, it's like, really, you're not gonna stick your head out or like do something and be like, yo, did anyone else just see a flashbang explode in our living room? Like, it's not like it's like a sparkler. So that's pretty weird. And that was new information yesterday as well. But then also what's her face said, Bethany said that, you know, she had been out with the dog and one of the roommates, like Maddie or something. And then when she came back in, the person stayed out with the dog. And then she's like, yeah, I definitely probably went to bed around 2:30. And then she said sometime after she had fallen asleep, like after 2:30, she couldn't remember who, but like someone came up to her and woke her up and was like, have you seen the dog? So that's weird too, because it's like, well, where'd the dog go? Was it the person that was outside with the dog asking? And then also things got weird later in the night with the dog. It's like I just don't know what was up with this dog. Like it sounded like they obviously he was out at 2, and then there's like a neighbor that reported hearing a dog barking for like 45 minutes between like 4 and 5 or something a.m. And like, you know, and but then it's like at 2:30 they can't find the dog. So it's like, was the dog barking because he was like locked in a room? And then if that's the case, like, is that why he was missing? And also like there's like a lot of people questioning like, you know, there is a dog, and usually, you know, when people go in to rob a place, like they try to like find places that don't have like large scary dogs, you know. And Murphy's is definitely not like a large scary dog, but I mean he's like decent. He's a golden doodle and he's pretty decent size. Like, you know, his shoulder length is like, or height is like probably the same size as, I think the same size as like a normal size poodle, like a big poodle. Um, but and they are really cute. And Murphy was super cute. Oh my God, there's this like video of like Haley where she's like, you know, he's like flopping his little hands around. He's doing like a little dance. And it's like super adorable. So I'm glad that, you know, at least the dog survived. Murphy survived, but it sounded like he saw some shit that night, you know. If Murphy could talk, we would know a lot more about that night, I bet. We'd probably know a lot more about a lot of things if Murphy could talk. But yeah, so confusing about the dog. And yeah, so it's like, all right, moving on. Dee was asked about the layout of her house. Dee said Kaylee's room was directly above her room. Dylan said she lived on the second floor and Kaylee lived on the third floor. Dee said Kaylee and Maddie both live upstairs on the third floor in separate rooms, but I didn't think Maddie lived there anymore. Dee said Dylan said Xana lived closest to the bathroom on the second floor, and Bethany lived on the first floor. That's what they reported right away in the news. I remember that. When asked about Murphy, shut up, Murphy. Dylan said it was a dog owned in common between Kaylee and her ex-boyfriend Jack D. DeCoulter said there was no apparent issues between Kaylee and Jack. No, wait, sorry. Dylan said there was no apparent issues between Kaylee and Jack, besides Kaylee dumping his ass and there being a love triangle. No, I don't know. That's all alleged. Dylan said Maddie had a boyfriend named Jake Jake S, which is like shite. What was his? I wrote it down. It's like, what is it? I can't. Whatever. I'll get back to this about that, but it's like, it's like ST. There's like an SCHTRE, but not in that order. So, anyways, if someone can remember, if you want to add it below, that'd be sweet. Okay. Yep. Okay. Named Jack, or yeah, Jake S, who was in Boise at the time of the incident. Dylan indicated Xana was dating Ethan Chapin, who was in the room with her at the time of the incident. Dylan did not know of anyone who would want to hurt Ethan when she was asked. Dylan was asked if she saw any cars in that area that should not be there. Dylan said, "No, I was not really looking at that." Well, it sounds like she wasn't looking at anything. What do you mean? Weird. Dylan said she woke up at around 400 hours on 11/13/22. Okay. That's about the time that other people reported hearing the dog start barking. Also, we have a DoorDasher that arrived at that time as well. So a lot of people were awake apparently at 4 that night. And then said where she could hear, I think she meant, yeah, hear like HEAR, not the other one. Kaylee and Murphy the dog dancing. Oh my God. Like I just was telling you guys about dancing. That's weird. But wait, she said she could hear Kaylee and Murphy the dog dancing. Okay, what? You're weird, Dylan. Like, what are you talking about? Because then, okay, in the other reports from yesterday, they say it like normal. They're like, yeah, there was like some type of like scrummaging going around. Like, obviously, there was like something going on in the hallway, like bodies doing, like, yeah, I don't know, but it's not like there was definitely kind of like stuff going on, you know? And now it's that Kaylee and Murphy the dog were dancing. Like, why would she just be like, yeah, that's what it was? It for sure was Kaylee and Murphy dancing when it's like super vague what it sounded like. It just, you know what I mean? And obviously it wouldn't be that because they were all like, they were dead at that time. So it actually wasn't Kaylee playing with the dog, you know? So you're wrong a bunch of times, Dylan. Um, all right. So she said, Dylan said she knew it was Kaylee. Oh, all right. She's gonna tell us. Kaylee, okay, she knew it was Kaylee because she recognized her voice and could hear Murphy barking. I thought you heard them dancing. Does Murphy dance when he barks? I guess I could see that. If I barked, I would bark while I danced probably too. Who let the dogs out? Mhm. All right. So then Dylan said she heard Kaylee go upstairs and say, this is creepy, and say, there is someone here. Dylan said she thought she heard Kaylee run back down the stairs. This is the part that I feel like I need, like, I'm going to tune in to this because this was the thing that was really confusing to me. And I thought that they were just calling everyone wrong names, but then it came out that actually they knew that they, you know, were maybe saying the wrong name, but that was actually the case, or like it was reported that to go that way or something. And here to me, I'm kind of like, all right, so what was actually happening? Like, so Dylan thinks that Kaylee was dancing with Murphy and he was just barking up a storm, having so much fun. And then she hears Kaylee go upstairs, which is like, okay, so was Kaylee just dancing with Murphy, not even on her floor of the house, like by herself? And then she goes upstairs and she then goes, there's someone here. Like, who's she talking to? You know what I mean? And then she heard yeah, and yeah, there's someone's here, which is creepy to think about whoever said that, because like, yeah, bitch, there was some people there. Um, Not like I was threatening thing, it's just like unfortunately there were, you know, because that sucked, obviously. That happened to them. Dylan said she heard Keely go upstairs. Yeah, you said that. Okay. Dylan said she thought she heard Keely run back down the stairs. To me, I'm like, maybe it was Xana. Maybe Xana was the one that was making some, you know, commotion in the hallway, like struggling. Oh my God. I don't know. It's so confusing. Potentially, hypothetically, maybe um the dancing dog and barking, whatever, was like the perpetrator messing with Murphy. And then, oh my God, maybe that is what it was. That maybe it is. Maybe it was like the perpetrator came in, then started trying to mess with Murphy or get him locked away. And then during that, Keely was like, there's someone here. But like, why? Oh, wait, no, that doesn't make sense. This is confusing. Um, Dylan said Kaylee sounded scared when she made the statement, which is there's someone here. So she's pretty sure it was Kaylee's voice. But I'm wondering if maybe it could also be Dylan. Like maybe they misunderstood or misheard, and it was actually like, you know, like maybe Xana heard in her room the perpetrator messing with the dog, and then she came out and they were like kind of having an encounter or whatever, and then I guess maybe Xana went upstairs or something and like tried to warn people, like someone here, you know what I mean? And then went back downstairs. That doesn't make sense. I know it's confusing. So, and I bet hopefully, I don't want to say hopefully, but if you guys are not confused, if you want to clarify that for me, like in, you know, the comment section, when you're watching this later, or if you're watching it now, feel free to do that. All right, so Dylan said at this time she jumped up, locked the door. Oh, really? Okay, because Which door? Her door? Because she did not know what else to do. Dylan said she called out Kaylee's name. Oh, really? And did not. Oh, this is interesting. She called out Kaylee's name and did not indicate if she got a response. Well, first of all, I'd say probably not. Like, um, but also, how did they not hear like everyone just being like slashed the fuck out of and Kaylee's face getting bashed in? I mean, it sounds like she was like maybe hit with like a huge frying pan, like pan across her face and just shattered. Like it's just. Like this was not just a chill going to someone's house, like bloop, cut your neck, and now you're dead. Like it's like no, this is like a bloodbath. There was like a lot of people talking, a lot of bodies going all over around. Like here, Dylan is saying, "Whoa, she was so scared. She had to lock her door, whatever, whatever." It's like, bitch, you just said that you uh locked your door because you jumped up because you were so scared because you thought you heard something that Kaylee said that someone was here. It's like, but then you didn't call the police for 2 weeks. Like, girl, like that doesn't make sense. Like, either you're like cuckoo for cocoa puffs, or like you're not good at like basic daily living skills. Like, it just shouldn't be that much of a problem to like figure out. Like, it obviously didn't go this way. I feel like because this wouldn't work. But anyway, so. La la la. So she called out her name, which even though she's so scared, she's willing to be like, "Hey, here I am. Come and get me. I'm scared." Like, it's like, no, dude. Like, why are you calling out her name if you're like freaked out about what's going on? Dude, they're lying. I don't want to say they're lying, but I feel like it's like a possibility for sure. It's something that should be considered and ruled out. Anyway, so Dylan then said she tried to call Kaylee, Xana, and Maddie on their phones. Dylan was asked if she saw anyone come downstairs or heard anything. What? Dylan was asked. Who was she asked by? Oh, probably by the reporter or by the person writing this case up. Mhm. All right. So then she says she tried to call Kayla. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Uh, Dylan was asked if she saw anyone come downstairs or heard anything. Dylan said, "No, I don't even know how they got in. We're usually pretty good about locking doors and never had problems before. I was just really random." What the hell, dude? Okay, sorry. That's a pretty big deal. I mean, I understand that people are like, "Oh my gosh, like, yeah, things aren't going to be perfect. Like, obviously, things aren't going to always line up perfectly, and everyone's narratives to the exact same second or whatever." But this is pretty significant difference in like her reporting. Like the fact that she said that she was super scared, jumped up, locked the door, but yet then she's calling out Kaylee's name. Like if I was scared as fuck, I'd go mute. I'd be like, I might have blocked my door, but I would have been like very slowly backing up and making sure I didn't make a noise because I'm like, dude, they're gonna come red rub me. And then she says, um, didn't hear anything, and then try to call a bunch of people. No one answers, and then she says that she didn't see. Oh wait, so she reported to the investigator, the author of this case note. She's asked um, if she saw anyone come downstairs or heard anything, which I thought the narrative was that she saw Kohberger or this, guy with bushy eyebrows, which was obviously Kohberger, um, walking down like a the hallway, and she saw him leave. Now she's saying she doesn't even. Well, okay, what is she talking about? She doesn't even know how they got in. Here's the thing. Oh wait, is this after the fact? Oh god damn it, I'm so dumb. So, anyways, yeah, it does make sense now. If she's giving this report or interview like days after or like a week after the actual incident, then it would make sense for her to be like, yeah, I don't even know, because now she knows that there were people there. Like, but at the time, she was telling everyone before that she didn't know what was going on. So, but now it's like, yeah, but now it sounds like she did know. No, now it sounds like she didn't know, but she did know that other people got in. Anyways, I'm not making sense, but in my brain that just seems confusing. It's like, oh yeah, she's like, we're usually pretty good about locking doors and never had problems before. Yeah, this must be like after the fact. Like this must be her being interviewed like after like everyone got like against like slaughtered. So um it was just really random. When she asked again about the series of events, Dylan said she opened the door when she cried out to Kaylee. Oh, really? Because before she was like, I was so scared and I locked the door. And then I started calling out Kaylee's name. Well, now someone asked to get a little bit more specific. She says, never mind, actually. It's like, what happened was I opened the door. I'm Dylan. I opened the door when I cried out for Kaylee. Like I laughed, but then when I did open the door when I called out for her, and then she says, then closed the door because she was scared. Why? Why was she scared? If she was so scared, like why did she not leave the house? Like why did she not call 911? She's sitting here saying that she fucking like knew. Oh my god, this is just a lot. Okay, so then it says. Closed the door because she was scared. Dylan said she then opened the door again and heard who she thought was Kaylee, but it could have been Xana. Well, that's interesting. Crying in the bathroom. What bathroom? Where? Well, that's weird. Someone's crying in the bathroom. There goes my doesn't know if it's fucking Kaylee or Xana. Well, there goes like there maybe the love triangle somewhere in there, We do know that they're um tight, you know what I mean? Uh, that's what he said. No, I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. So, anyways, she said, okay, wait, hold up. I was at the wrong paragraph. Dylan said she then opened the door again and heard who she thought was Kaylee, but could have been Xana crying in the bathroom. Dylan said she then heard a man's voice say, "It's okay, I'm gonna help you." That's fucking creepy to me. I'm sorry. If I heard that outside of my room, that I'd already been so freaked out that I like locked myself in, like I would not be ballsy enough to fucking talk out loud and like actually be like helpful in any capacity to like actual professional services that are going on. I mean, it's just weird how she's like, how do you hear someone being like, it's okay, I'm gonna help you? That sounds so creepy, dude. Then Dylan said it was weird. Oh my God, this is so funny. I'm like, dude, all right, maybe I'm a little bit psychic. Like maybe on a scale from like 1 to 100, I'm like 3.5% psychic because listen to this next sentence. Dylan said she then heard a man's voice say, "It's okay, I'm gonna help you." Dylan said it was weird because the statement was not in a nice way, and the voice was one she had never heard before. Really? Not in a nice way, huh? So she heard someone saying, "It's okay, I'm gonna help you," in a nasty way, but she's chill. She's gonna go back to bed and like sleep for the next 12 hours, and then just get up and act like nothing happened. Another day, another dollar. Like, okay, that's kind of weird that you can do that. Not you, but like I'm talking about the people on here. Anyways, Dylan said she called out to Kaylee again, and there was no crying after, and she did not know what happened after that. Hmm, yikes. So it sounds like that's where Kaylee must have lost her life at that point. Um, Crazy. She said Dylan said she called up to Kaylee again, and there was no crying after, and she did not know what happened after that. Dylan said she opened the door again, and the guy, in parentheses, is right there. Dylan described the male as approximately her height, which is like I think around 6 feet actually. She's pretty tall. There was like rumors like or people talking saying that she was like a trans woman. I was like, dude, that's rude as hell. Just because she's, I mean, it's not rude, but because obviously trans women are cool as hell, but like also It's like, I don't know. Like, you don't really need to, like, I forgot what I was talking about. God, I'm just fucking stupid, dude. I need to stop being so negative towards myself, but it does annoy me when I'm just so like, meh, eh. I just really wanted to go live today, and things just kept getting pushed back and pushed back. And I was like, yo, I just got to do it, even if it's 15 minutes, because I really, really want to start doing it every day. And I feel like with these documents, there's so much to talk about. And obviously, I talk a lot too, because at this point, we have already only gotten through two fucking documents, and it's been a flipping hour that I'm on here. So that's a little excessive. So let's rein it in, ACAB. Moving forward, she says. Dylan said she called Kaylee again and there was no crying after that, and she did not know what happened. Dylan said she opened the door again and the guy is right there. Dylan described the male as approximately her height, 5'10". Sorry, I guess I was wrong about the 6. I was like, how did I not see that right there as I was reading it? Or a few inches taller, not skinny but athletic build. Dylan said the suspect was wearing all black with masks that covered just his forehead and goes around his face. Okay, wait, what? Hold on. The suspect was wearing all black with masks that covered just his forehead and goes around his face. I don't fucking understand that definition at all. What are you talking about? Like, I'll have to maybe Google that too, because I'm just like, I feel like I could easily imagine it, but my brain's just like, bitch, not tonight. Okay? Just reach it out loud. Don't even think about it. But I am gonna just write this down real quick. So I can also highlight sort of. Okay, wearing all black. Suspect wearing all black with all black with masks that covered just his forehead. All black with masks covering just forehead. I literally feel like we cannot visualize that at all. Covering their forehead and goes around his face. Well, I need to just finish sentences. This is fucking stupid. Like seriously. Because I'm always like, I wonder about that. 15 minutes later, I'm still kind of talking about this really basic thing, and then I continue reading, and literally it's like the second half of the sentence that I just stopped in the middle of to like be like brainstorm, you know. Well, I guess I'm like guessing good areas where things should be like offered or whatever. If anyways, oh my God, you guys, I feel like I'm like. I feel like the aliens came down and like totally ripping me tonight or something. And like those reptilians, dude, they're no joke, okay? But just kidding. I am joking about that. But I'm open minded to hearing a little bit more of those theories, I'm not gonna lie. I found well you guys will find that out when I finally fucking get to my other life that I've been trying to do forever, but there was like a pretty good saying that I remember from that season. But who the fuck knows what I'm talking about? I don't. Hearing their covering their forehead and goes around his face. Dylan showed her with her hands the mask exposed his nose but covered the mouth area. So what she was like, it's here, not here, or something. I mean, I guess that would make sense if it was like that. Okay, then she goes, Dylan showed her hands. The mask exposed his nose but covered the mouth area. What is that sound? Oh, dude. Wow. So Dylan, it says Dylan. uh, Dylan showed her hands. The mask exposed his nose but covered the mouth area. Dylan said she believed the suspect was white but did not remember eyebrow color or what his eyes looked like. Really? I thought they were so dead and evil and horrifying that you'd never forget the death stare. It's like, whatever, dude. Um, Dylan said when she saw the suspect, he saw her and just left. Okay, what? When did she see this guy? Oh, when she came out of the phone when she was hearing people, but then she didn't. I'm confused as fuck, and it's like literally an hour in or some shit of Big Brother. I like put that on the background sometimes on my Paramount Plus. And RIP to the Daily Report to the Daily Show. But that Johnson dude is doing pretty good. Is his name John? But he's getting really good ratings. He did like a practice one or something. But okay, continuing on. Dylan said when she saw the suspect, he saw her and just left. Dylan said she believes he was holding something near his stomach or belt line. Dylan used both hands to point straight out from her abdomen. Dylan then moved her hands uh, apart and back together to simulate a bulge. Okay, so she's like, um, Dylan said the area was black in color, and she thought now maybe it was a gun. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Do we know that there wasn't a gun used though? I mean, we have zero information about any of the red rum, I guess tools or what do they call it? Exhibits, evidence. They have to be like, oh my God, so cringy to be honest. Like, what if you acted like that with your spouse or something? I don't know. I don't know why I'm hitting on that today, but 'cause I'm sleepy and I need a nap. That's probably why I'm being a little negative. Oh, but yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I was trying to pretend she's pregnant. Like, what's going on here? Straight out from her abdomen. Dylan then moved her hands apart and back together to simulate a bulge. Okay. Oh, okay. Um, Dylan said this area was black in color, and she thought, oh, okay. What the fuck, dude? Oh my God. Okay. So the suspect, Dylan sees him, he sees her, and then he bounces. And then, yeah. I guess it might be getting close to bedtime, even though it is only 2 o'clock, but I'm gonna sleep so hard. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. But the thing is like my cat Leela's over here with me, and my parents' dog really bullies Leela, which is just so fucking rude. I'm like, she's a little old lady. She only has one eye. Like, quit being mean to her. You know what I mean? And like Hannah is like a little. I mean, she's cute, but she's feisty as fuck. And she'll like chest bump Leela, and I'm like, hello. She's like this big, you know. But Leela will not stand up for herself. She is. I've never heard her hiss ever. She's definitely never hissed at me. And I've never seen her bite anyone except like a week and a half ago when I was trying to, she's getting a little bit older. So she is starting to get matting, like on the back of her legs and like a little bit more on her, like tummy area. And the vet was like, it was like a free consultation, whatever. She was like, here's some shit that's wrong with him or them. It was like Jonathan at the time. And then, Yeah, I mean, I guess I have no fucking points to that whole stupid story. What the hell, dude? Oh my God, dude. I'm gonna have to go after this one because I'm like literally just embarrassed myself at this point. So thank you all for your cooperation. We still have 3 more pages to go, so please bear with me. Um, anyways, so apparently she thought whoever this reporter is, or I don't know, maybe she mentioned, no, Dylan mentioned that she believed this person was holding something near his stomach or belt line. It says Dylan said this area was black in color, and she thought now maybe it was a gun. Dylan said the area object had an arrow shape. Dylan seemed really unsure and said she was tired during the event. Okay, that's random. That whole like 2 sentences were just interesting in general. Okay, so Dylan used both her hands to point straight out from her abdomen. Dylan then moved her hands apart and back together. Dude, fucking just read this. Hey, yours and went home. I just say next right now. Please try again. Why was she stimulating a bulge? I don't get this. Like, what do you mean? Are the Mexicanos like going around and like teasing people, like saying that they're pregnant with their baby or something, like pretending that they have or a bulge? What is a bulge? When I think of a bulge, I do not think of like I. I mean, I'm sure other people know what I think of, and most people probably do when you hear balls. Did I say fucking balls, dude? Is that wow, you guys? I feel like I'm like Dylan said this area was black. Anyway, so now it's maybe a gun. So I guess everyone thought she was a hard ass. Oh, that was like Dylan said she saw the perpetrator walking around, blah 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 blah. That's all we hear. And then all of a sudden now it comes out in these new documents that are unsealed that actually it was like a lot of people fucking fought like back, you know what I mean? And it's like the whole camp or wherever you're doing, and it's like there would definitely be not guns allowed, but it is like just a really my dad like shoots like raccoons on our roof with this like 22 that he has. Like it's like a little rifle that I think he used as a kid a bunch to go like sadly go kill squirrels and stuff. But yeah, like apparently she saw this guy who she couldn't make out, but apparently knows enough of him to I mean she obviously do like that one of those dudes were like buying I don't know. Ari's obviously will take a free drink whenever, but anyway, so the arrow shape is in the unknown object, and Dylan seemed really unsure. Said she was tired during the event. I asked how long she believed it was from the time Kaylee said someone is here to when she saw the suspect. Hmm. Okay. Dylan said she thought it was about 10 or 20 minutes. What? Okay, hold on. Oh, thank God. All right. Speaking of like fun UFO stuff, just quick little break here. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, that's also not what I wanted. Here we go. This is awesome pen. Okay, just wait for it. Okay, looks like a little like spaceship. It's got like it's like a it's styrofoam. It's soft. No, I'm good. Mushy. But watch this part. Oh my God, how fun is that? It's like the spaceship just took off, and like being that there are like a lot of aliens that are coming up lately. But like, watch. Whoa, right? Crazy. Super fun. But the dumb thing is like when you shoot this thing off, it doesn't actually do anything to the pen besides just shoot the top off. You actually have this little stupid cap down here, and there's nowhere to fucking put it. So now I'm like, this should have been get the pen out or like the ink out. Because I'm gonna lose this, and then the pen's not gonna be good anymore. And here you had the biggest thing that you could have used ever for the top, of a pen. Like, come on, people, think smarter, not harder. But that's what I should definitely be telling myself all the time. Alrighty, So Kaylee said someone is here, and when she thought she saw the suspect, and Dylan said she thought it was about 10 or 20 minutes. Dylan said she went to say she was in and out of it. Oh my God, that's exactly what I'm saying right now. Am I D? Just kidding. Um, keep up. Oh my God, I keep saying my name too. Well, you guys are the real ones here tonight, so if you haven't got it yet, my first name is Sarah, but I will never release my alias and my last name. But my last name is the best thing about me, for sure. Well, probably. No, that's true. My last name's badass. But I just don't want to be like red rums by some weirdo on the internet being like, I know where you live, especially when I used to work in prisons. I digress. So, Dylan says she thought it was about 10 or 20 minutes between the time that Kaylee said someone is here and then when fucking what's her face said someone's here. Okay, so Dylan went on to say she was in and out of it and she does not fully remember the incident. Dylan was asked where the suspect was in the residence when Dylan saw him. Dylan said the suspect was between her bedroom door and the kitchen. Dylan says she remembered watching the suspect go out the kitchen door and leave. Dylan said at this time she closed her door and locked it as fast as she could. Oh, really? Now you're fascinated? Like, you slept with all of the doors open, you said pretty much every day. Now you know that there's like four of your literal roommates that just got totally brutally ripped apart and just slashed everywhere, all over the wall, blah, blah, blah. And now there's someone being like, I don't want to, I'm not talking smack. I just think this is a better way to I'm very impressed when people are able to analyze and like synthesize just literally like a lifetime of work on certain subjects, but like not get totally lost in the wash and being like, okay, but like, does the A look better in like that font than this font? Like maybe I should just stick to New York Times, New Roman or whatever. It's like, dude, bitch, if you would have done this would have been done like 5 years ago, But so many weasels. Yeah. Ouch. Well, Dylan was asked where the suspect was at in the door and the kitchen. Dylan said she remembered watching the suspect go out the kitchen door and leave. Dylan said at this time she closed her door and locked it as fast as she could. Really, now everyone has some urgency. They literally weren't even gonna let us go out for recess because like in the same grade because it was like anyways, that's a whole other story, so I'm gonna stop myself there. All right. Dylan went on to say she was in and out of it and she did not fully remember the incident. Dylan was asked where the suspect was at in the residence when I saw him. Am I fucking this up? No. Dylan said the suspect was between her bedroom kitchen door and leave. Uh, Dylan said at this time she closed her door and locked it as fast as she could. Dylan said the suspect did not walk toward her or say anything. I like that clarification. Dylan once said once the suspect left, she immediately called B. Yeah, maybe that's fine. G said B informed her. Okay, wait. Okay, rewind. Rewind. So it's D. D. Dude, I'm going crazy. I literally have like two more pages. You can do this. You can do this there. I believe in you. Oh my god, it's so long. It's too long. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna take the vibes. I think awesome that I was able to go live an hour and 20 minutes. Super bummer that I'm way too talkative right now and a little delusional maybe, but like like fun kooky aunt, type of deal, like, but not legit. Like, make sure you lock your bedroom doors tonight. Sarah's been really spending a lot of time with that machete lately. Um, mhm. Oh, now it sounds like they're inviting them over. All right. I'm like, oh wait, no. Hold on. Uh-huh. All right. Well, this is interesting. Okay, you guys, like honestly, I'm like, ugh, I want to review these documents, but I want them like I want to like review them like on the spot, so I'm not like you know, but uh but I'm so lazy all the time, period, that I'm like, yeah, right, I'm gonna fucking clean the kitchen table. Just kidding. No, we all did our shit. How did cleaning go at you guys' place? I see. What is that on here? I need to figure out. Okay, I'm gonna just get this to the end to like kind of yeah document, but we unfortunately due to my blabbermouth um and spreading good cheer throughout the community of my hood um that there's comfy blow up chairs to sit on, so that's definitely a positive. And I bet places need to close really early. It is weird to think that there's not. Well, there is a swimming pool down. Oh, for sure, like at Lifetime or whatever, right? Okay. Anyways, so we are on page. Well, yeah, we're on page 3 of the document 42, which is called. I guess there's not a fucking title. So whatever title you want to use, and just let us system know. I'd be down. As long as it's not like, like a slur or something. Just kidding. People don't. No, I'm not kidding though. But I'm not saying like, anyways, badly like presented joke, I guess. It's like, yeah. All right. So then, oh, so I have been thinking about just reading over stuff myself, kind of doing my own highlight, and then like going back through and like seeing if there's any good like flip whatever pictures to just do a few here and there because it was like the internet was so shoddy over there. But then it was like, then I just feel like, I don't know, I noticed that like you're getting in trouble and like a lot of people were talking about that. And it's just sad because there's so many people with addiction issues like in this case. And like, I think a lot of the other creators like that are a little bit more like pro burger type deal. I would like again, I wouldn't say I'm a pro burger because I just don't identify with that label. But sure, if other people understand it that way, fine. But I do think that we need to get rid of the death penalty for sure. Um, so that's all, folks. I literally can't use my brain right now anymore, and I'm like seriously so excited to like. I was gonna like maybe sit down and like watch a YouTube video of something and like possibly drink some water, maybe drink a beer. But then I'm acting like how Jon Stewart described the oh wait, was that another correspondent? Anyways, I have a weird story about that. And I'm like, it feels like I'm falling asleep. That's what I was saying. Feels like I'm falling asleep right now, so I should go. But also the feels were like that. And it was nice that you actually were able to be like, when are they coming or not? So I can plan to go, or if there's one like an hour away. But I bought a bunch of people like presents, and then like I said, I didn't see them for like 5 years, so I still have all the presents though. But now they're too old for them. I'm like, well, this is perfect though because now I just have like two other friends that had new babies. So as long as I can get it to them, all will be well. But Okay, y'all. Well, have a good night. Thank you so much for joining. I am gonna go crash hard as fuck. I'm super excited to sleep, and then I'll for sure. I just have plans tomorrow evening around 7. Not that you need to know that, but I don't mind that you have that information either. Anyways, but I can't. Yeah, never mind. We can talk about this face to face sometimes, but I'm like that. Is that a hill you want to die on? I'm like, yeah, kind of is like because it's just weird that they treat whatever. Anyways, I already said. I think I maybe just was like sleep talking for 30 seconds and I had no idea what I really said, but I'm sure it was amazing. And let me know if you thought it was too. I'm talking about like literally the last like minute. Also give feedback on the live in general, like the series, if anyone has any questions or concerns or thoughts. And then I will plan on returning. Well, I was talking about like something about Monday. Um, I just don't really know what to do with his DVDs. So, but I'll talk to you about that tomorrow because I'm not worried about that right now. Um, okay, everyone, I hope that you guys are excited to sleep as I am and that you get a fantastic evening of great sleep and you are bright-eyed, bushy-tailed tomorrow for some more probably conspiracy theories that you're gonna make fun of me for, but like the difference between a conspiracy and a fuck me, damn it, I always it'll come to me. But it's pretty crude. It's like another pretty crude fucking joke. It's something about I feel it was like an overweight woman. And they were like requesting the like wrong types of cars. They were like, oh yeah, we're looking for a 2012 to like 2014. And then it'll be like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna use that. But an hour later, I'm still trying to like figure out detangling shit and I'm like looking up other things. It's just like like some people like anyways, I don't know why I told that story, but I feel like, they're not like us kind of deal. That's the vibe. Which is a good sign if people don't know, which I'm sure you know, but I feel like Kendrick Lamar is like for current music, like I obviously don't think that I would say like John Prine is my and Garth Brooks are my number one favorite country artist, but they are like respectable, like country, like vintage, like in the early 90s. You know what I mean? But but yeah, that fucking day was crazy. 19 goddamn times. Did I ever tell you about this? Oh, that's for a different day. I'll tell this story, but it's about like hold your Wii for a pee. It was like a radio show game, and things went very wrong. So I'll leave you guys on that cliffhanger there. That has nothing to do with the Big Brother game ever. So, um, but I'm seriously just so like numb right now that I feel like. I could do anything and be like, yeah, I'm not, I feel like I'm talking like I'm weird, but I'm just really excited to just get cuddled up in my bed. I am going to stop talking and do that exact same thing. I really appreciate everyone that is here right now, that has stayed even just a portion of the show, which if that's happened, you wouldn't probably be hearing this unless you started in the end, which teach their own. And I'll get some more deets about my current notes and yeah, looking forward to probably seeing you tomorrow. And peace and love. Bye.